And on this Thursday, May 1st, 2025 edition of Newsmakers, President Trump spoke from the Rose Garden at the White House today to mark the National Day of Prayer.
We're bringing back religion in our country, and we're bringing it back quickly and strongly.
The president talked about the need for God in the U.S.
Because for America to be a great nation, we must always be one nation under God, a phrase that they would like to get rid of, the radical left.
Meanwhile, National Day of Prayer events are being held around the country, including a national broadcast tonight at nationaldayofprayer.org. The theme this year, Pour Out to the God of Hope and Be Filled. A new report from Dr. George Barna and the Cultural Research Center at Arizona Christian University reveals a dramatic shift in America's spiritual landscape, with a significant decline in Christian affiliation, a rise in non-Christian faiths and no-faith segments, and widespread confusion about moral truth. The study found that Christian affiliation dropped from 72% in 2020 to 66% in 2025, a decline equating to a loss of roughly 15 million adults over 5 years. Meanwhile, non-Christian faiths have surged. Buddhism grew by 56%, Judaism by 21%, and Islam by 12%, with all non-Christian faiths combined increasing by 39% since 2020. Dr. Barna cautioned that while these growth rates appear large, those numbers are somewhat exaggerated because of the small base associated with each faith group. But the trend is clear. Christianity is slowly shrinking at the expense of competing faith systems. A parallel concern is the rejection of absolute moral truth, with 66% of U.S. adults denying its existence, a figure unchanged from 2020. Mainline Protestants rejecting absolute truth increased to 61%, and 69% of Catholics dismiss it. Born-again Christians showed improvement, with rejection dropping from 57% in 2020 to 49% in 2025. The Trump administration is calling for more reliance on behavioral therapy for youth identifying as transgender instead of broader so-called gender-affirming medical care. A report from the Department of Health and Human Services questions the current practices and medical groups that endorse them. The new Best Practices report released today is in response to an executive order Trump issued days into his second term that says the federal government must not support gender transitions for anyone under age 19. National Institutes of Health Director Dr. Jay Bhattacharya said in a statement, "Our duty is to protect our nation's children, not expose them to unproven and irreversible medical interventions," adding we must follow the gold standard of science, not activist agendas. The report sharply contradicts guidance from the American Medical Association. The U.S. Department of Education has started an investigation into Washington state's gender-inclusive policies. School Superintendent Chris Reichdahl says they are following federal and state law, which prohibits discrimination based on gender identity. Since 2007, Washington has allowed students to participate in sports based on their gender identity. Reichdahl says they will follow the law, not the president's executive order, which he says is illegal. And that's Newsmakers for this Thursday, May 1st, 2025 edition. I'm Keith Black.